2, 1. We're all idiots. Every single one of us is stupid to some degree because our brains are big, dumb, oversensitive little babies. Now let me ask you a question. Did it hurt just now when I called you an idiot? Probably not, honestly. Better question. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone corrected you when you were absolutely certain that you were right? You probably felt attacked on some level or had a knee-jerk impulse to double down on your stance or just shut them out completely, no matter how brief the impulse or whether you acted on it or not. Don't freak out just yet if you have. It's completely natural. Being corrected or proven wrong literally hurts. It activates the same part of your brain that responds to actual physical injury and can even trigger the brain's fight or flight reflex. It's instinctual. It's a psychological response called the backfire effect. I like to think of it as the Dunning-Kruger effect's bitchy cousin, and it's why I called our brains oversensitive. I promise this preamble is relevant, but I'm going to move away from the backfire effect for a moment and talk about pseudoscience and its relationship with climate change denialism. There's no one singular reason why people believe in pseudoscience. Sometimes it stems from a dislike of academics and being condescended to, or simply general distrust towards authority. Sometimes people are just looking for an excuse to be contrarian and actively look for data that supports their argument, and often pseudoscience fills that gap. It's designed to, in a way. It's the deliberate production of false information wrapped in a thin veneer of academic integrity by using scientific-sounding terms, fake experts, and cherry-picked research. And once they believe in it, they don't give up on it easily, and they especially don't like being proven wrong. This is where the backfire effect rears its ugly head again, and it's what makes arguing with climate change denialists bloody exhausting. And it's only going to get worse. Climate change denialism is becoming more fervent the more evidence is published as non-believers continue to deny it all. The rhetoric becomes more extreme as their worldview is being challenged and the backfire effect kicks in, and they accuse climate scientists of falsifying evidence even as more evidence is presented, but is then dismissed as part of the conspiracy. Not everyone buys into this particular brand of bullshit, though. It's only a minority that seriously believes climate change is a conspiracy, but that minority is vocal enough to make their voices heard, and unfortunately, all that misinformation can influence people that are undecided on climate change with that insidious little niggle of doubt. Other brands of pseudoscience, though, are far more commonplace. Think the anti-vaxxers, that superfoods malarkey, or astrology. I'm not immune to it. Even though I know it's nonsense, a part of me still likes to believe in astrology because it's fun to think about. So how do we fix this? How do we get people to stop falling for pseudoscience? Just presenting the facts isn't enough because the facts are actively being ignored. Psychologists are working on a solution they're calling inoculation theory. The basic premise being exposing people to flu shots of a sort, introducing a weak misconception and explaining the fallacy behind it to inoculate people against it and teach them the tools to reconcile fact with fake fact. Inoculation theory is probably the best we've got because instinct isn't going anywhere, because our brains are dumb. We're just going to have to trick them into being smart.